Hello, welcome to the Wellness Room. I'm your host, Stephanie Watson, here at Omaha Integrative Care. And I have one of our nurse practitioners, Melissa Prickett, with us today. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to the Wellness Room.
Hi, Stephanie. How's it going?
Great. I'm excited about this. Thank you
Me
for
too.
joining us. So I thought we could start off by just having you tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice.
Yes. I am so excited to, become a primary provider for Omaha Integrative Care. I practice in a way where, there's always going to be the Western medicine side of, diagnosis codes and, maintaining a balance of health. But I like to make sure that we don't have to get there. So we come in with a preventative measures where, are we making sure that we are feeding ourselves adequately? Are we hydrated? Are we exer like movement? Movement is medicine. I make sure to address it from a whole person aspect instead of just being, okay, so now we have high blood pressure, let's start a medication. I would really like to incorporate as many lifestyle modifications as possible before we head into that pharmacological journey. Um, and I have utilized that in my own life and practice, so I just like to be able to share that with other people. Um, I am a wife and a mom of three young kids, so I'm very, engaged in activities and running around and, you know, easy on the go things. So I think I come from a very practical perspective also because I'm living the same life as most of my patients. So yeah, I just think it's a fun area of medicine where it's not all doom and gloom, but you know, we can make it a lifestyle instead of, gosh, I wish I would have started this 3 months ago, but now I have this diagnosis. So we want to prevent at all costs to get to a place where we have chronic or complex medical conditions.
Would you say that that's at the heart of what integrative care means? The lifestyle changes and kind of catching things earlier? Because I feel like a lot of us don't know what the word integrative care means or the
Yeah.
words integrative care.
Yeah. I think integrative medicine is a very good cross section between Western medicine and functional medicine. Functional medicine, it has always been a love of mine. I do have experience in the functional medicine space, but I also know that not everybody can afford or access functional medicine.
Right.
So being able to come to a place where, at Omaha Integrative Care, we incorporate insurance, try and make things as affordable as possible. Um, and incorporating functional medicine doesn't always have to be expensive. Where, even just small changes to your daily life where, okay, let's make sure we get some protein in before we drink coffee in the morning. That can make a big difference. Making sure we're getting enough protein during the day can make a big difference from gut issues to hair, skin, and nails to, metabolic concerns. So there are a lot of just small tweaks that we can do from an integrative or holistic perspective that can make a big difference.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That helps clear that up a little bit, the integrative piece.
good.
Under that blanket, what services would you say you could offer someone who would be visiting with you?
Yeah. First and foremost, I just want to be here as, someone's sounding board or like primary care. Um, I'm not here to say that I won't treat blood pressure or high cholesterol or, diabetes or anything like that, because that's something I do also. Um, but I also want to equip people with empowering ways to change the way that they see medicine. So I come in from a little bit of a different perspective where we can look at nutrition. We can talk about exercise and what that may look like for that time period of your life that you're currently in. What are your stressors? How does that affect how things go? Um, I look at different hormones, especially for perimenopausal, menopausal women. How does that all play into the feelings you're feeling, um, how that plays into exercise and nutrition and everything that goes around with that too. So there's a lot of different angles we can come from.
If I was coming in to see you, what would a typical visit be like? Like, walk me through, like, literally from the minute I get there to getting a chance to be with you.
Yeah, so first coming in, you will usually call, make an appointment. You will meet with our scheduler named Ben. He will find a spot for you. I work Monday through Thursday in office, and then on Fridays I primarily do telehealth. So
Well, that's great that there's telehealth available for
yes,
people
so
too. I
there's
like that.
there's two different options. We can do telehealth during the week also, but
Okay.
um, just there's many different ways that we can meet up, basically. Um, so Ben will find you a spot on the schedule. When you come in for your first appointment, you'll meet either Dandy or Melissa up front to check in. Um, After you get checked in, my MA, Emma, will come and get you. She will do your vitals, height, weight, blood pressure, heart rate, respirations, different things like that. She'll draw labs either before the visit or after, depending on what we decide. And then we will take you back to my exam room. Um, we have a very welcoming environment. Nothing is sterile, like a typical medical office. So we have comfy chairs. I have fun things on the wall. I have a Lego set, different things where it's not just like you're walking into plastic chairs, cold, dreary office.
Do you wear a
Um,
white coat?
yeah, I don't wear a white coat.
White coat syndrome is a real thing with blood pressure, especially, right?
That's right.
Awesome.
No, I used to work in pediatrics, so
Yeah.
white coats were a big no-no because we would
Okay.
scare the kids. So,
Absolutely. It's real.
so that's something that I took on. I think adults are the same way. So,
I do too. I think we're all conditioned like, ah, I'm at the doctor's office and we get nervous. So
that's right. I don't need it. You don't need it. So
we
we're
don't
good.
need it.
Um, But yeah, I have two chairs in my room where we can have a conversation. You can bring, a loved one or a friend with you.
That's
The
great.
more the merrier. I do have an exam table. I'm able to offer pap smears for women. So we're equipped to do all of that with lab services. The only thing that we don't have right now as an option is vaccines.
Okay.
Not to say never, but not something that we have going on currently.
Okay.
Um, and from there, we have a chat about, what our goals are or what you're concerned about. First and foremost, spend the first 30 minutes talking and then we'll do a quick exam. And then I usually like to do labs the first time that we see each other. And then I typically like to have you come back after the lab values come back, either a telehealth or an in-person, so that I can really
Okay.
sit down and tell you, why I drew these labs, what I'm looking at, what am I concerned about, what can we work on. I work with, an account called Full Script for supplements, so we can always look to see if there's anything you can add into your, um, you know, that can help aid with nutrients or vitamins. Um, but yeah, I think it's a very open, honest conversation, and um, yeah, it's very relaxed. So it's nothing anybody needs to be anxious about.
Nervous about.
Yeah.
That's great. That helps me picture. I mean, I work there, so and I'm a patient there also, so I kind of have an idea of how it goes. But I feel like that is one of the biggest benefits of being part of our clinic is to have that warm, inviting feeling from the minute you walk in until you meet your provider. So
Right.
thank you for all of
Yeah.
that. So I have another question because this seems to come up quite a bit. Could you share with us what the difference between a yearly basic annual exam and then what an integrative health assessment looks like?
Yeah. I do think first and foremost, I have people look at, am I a provider in your network? What does your insurance company offer in services related to an annual exam? I know most, if not all, we insurance companies offer you to have a preventative annual exam once a year. Um, and so with that being said, making sure to know what labs and what is entailed in that um, before you come in is a good idea, and then just what way you want to go. So I'm open and like open to whatever you feel comfortable with. We can do as little as, down and dirty, nothing's really bothering me. I don't have any concerns. Just need, an annual exam for work, school, whatever. Um, or we can go into in depth and we can, look into vitamins, supplements. We can look into hormones. We can talk more about nutrition. We can talk about exercise. We there's so many ways that this appointment can go. So I feel like everything is so customized to that person and what they feel like they need at that time, and what they're interested in learning about. Um, because I do feel like there's a lot of wishy-washy things that we can get on social media, and I think sometimes we just need that
Yeah,
clear, this is the research, this is what I believe, this is what I've seen with my patients, and then we can kind of have a conversation about that. I always let people know, like, this is your healthcare, this is your journey. So you tell me what you need, and I can do my best to fulfill that for you.
that's awesome. What ages do you see?
So I'm a family nurse practitioner, so I can
Okay.
see all ages.
Okay.
Um, you know, I used to work in peds, I work in adults, so I feel comfortable with all ages.
Okay.
So I'm up for whatever.
I love that. It's
Yeah,
great. One-stop shop.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, you mentioned vitamins, and one of my favorite vitamins to talk about is vitamin D, vitamin
Mhm.
D3 to be specific. And
That's right.
actually, I would love it if you would tell us the difference between two and three because I don't feel like everyone really knows. They just hear vitamin D and it's from the sun, right? And
Right.
other things like fish. And could you share with us, because seasonal affect disorder, vitamin
Hmm.
D, it's tis the season.
That's right.
Perfect time to chat
So
about it.
yeah, vitamin D3 is just the way that we metabolize
Okay.
from a supplement standpoint, vitamin D. So vitamin D is a hill that I say to all my patients, I have seen people as low as like a vitamin D of 7, and I have seen people as high, greater than the reference range. Reference range, for people who don't know, is 30 to 100. So it is a very broad reference
Yes,
range.
it is. That's not
So I tend to think that people should be on the higher end of like 60 to 100.
okay.
The research shows that if we are preventing any bone deterioration, osteopenia, if you are, have a history of falls, history of frequent fractures, anything like that, I think a lot about menopausal women.
Right.
You know, we lose calcium, we lose that estrogen as we get older, so then we are more prone to bone breakage.
Hmm.
So the research shows that anything 75 or greater for vitamin D is better for bone health.
Okay.
Um, Vitamin D does so many different things. I I almost think about it as like the catch-all where, we need vitamin D to have a good immune response. We need vitamin D to help with mood. We need vitamin D to help get better sleep, go into deep sleep, REM sleep. Um, we need vitamin D for, again, bones. So there's a wide range of things that it does. Um, and I
I've
just
even heard that it may help even prevent some cancers. Is that true? Is there evidence or science backing that up?
I think, I mean, just with how much you need it as a building block for hormones, for different things like that, it's definitely possible, especially for those hormone-related cancers. Just when we don't make enough or
Right.
we make too much, things can go a little bit haywire, and cancer is definitely one of those things that
Mhm.
rears its ugly head.
And even when you say mood, we're talking about depression.
We're talking about depression.
Right.
The research does show that it doesn't tend to prevent people from getting depression, but it helps people who have depression. So,
Okay.
I do think that is necessary because we live in this crazy world that, we all experience probably some form of anxiety or depression. Whether it be, that nagging, like bone dense depression or, just regular old day-to-day things. I
Mhm.
do think that if there's something that I could give you that could help you in any way, and it's not, doesn't cost $1 million, I think
Right. So easy.
vitamin D is probably where I'm gonna lead you
We're
to.
going to start.
And it is to be said that we live in the Midwest. We experience so many days of darkness, especially from, fall to winter to spring. We live in a bipolar basic environment in Nebraska where we never know, is it going to be 30 or 70?
True.
Um, so we don't always get those rays of sunshine
Right.
that we need. And if we're outside, I hope we're using SPF and covering our body against those UVB rays, so then we don't absorb it like people used to.
Right. So you can also get it from food, and fish is a big one, like sardines, right? Salmon, oily fish, anchovies, herring, that kind of stuff. And
That's
then is
right.
it spinach? I feel like some of the vegetables have it. I don't know the vegetables as much, but some of them have it as well, right?
Yes, mushrooms are big
Okay.
for vitamin D.
Okay.
Oily fish, like the ones that you kind of elaborated on. Yeah, it's only in a couple things, and I do
Yeah.
feel like you tend to have to eat a lot of it to get as
Right.
high as a level as what I would recommend. So I always think vitamin D3 supplementation. I usually recommend about 5,000 IU's a day.
Okay.
If I do like draw your labs and see that you're deficient, sometimes I recommend like a 3 month stint of 10,000 IU's a day.
Uh-huh.
Um, so it just all kind of depends what symptoms you're showing. It also is really big for energy. I think a lot of people come in with fatigue,
Hmm.
not knowing that they're vitamin D deficient. And that's just something that we can do for an extra boost um, to
Did
help with
you
that.
say the difference between three and two? Is there a difference, or does it have to be three? And what does
It
two do for us?
yes, it has to be D3.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
And do we need vitamin D too?
I don't tend to use that as
Yeah,
often.
kind of
Mm.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So three is it. Um, are there
Sometimes
any?
I put it with vitamin K too.
Oh, yeah, because that's supposed to take the calcium and put it actually in your bones
That's
where it
right.
needs to be, right?
Yes.
I have some of that. I think there's a
So,
lot of research behind that right now,
yes.
which really makes sense to me because if you, it needs to be direct, it's like it needs to be directed in your body of where to go because it could be going to, it's bad for your heart, right, to have too much calcium. Is that where it goes? Like that part I never have known.
Yeah, so I always just tend to think about it as D follows K and
Okay.
calcium follows D.
Yep.
So
That's cool.
we need all of these things to fire to
To
get
actually
it.
make it happen, to be
Yep,
absorbed appropriately.
that's right. Yep.
Awesome. I love how you touched on a few times you brought up hormonal health and
Mhm.
how important it is. And I'm wondering if, and we've talked about it before, but we'd love it if you would come back and talk a little bit more about hormones. So many exciting things are happening, like the black box
Yes.
was removed from
From
hormone.
estradiol. Yes.
Yes, that's huge stuff. So I would love that if we could have you back and we could dig into that a little bit more.
You betcha.
It'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about anything we talked about today?
No, I'm just really excited to meet all of you and, start this relationship. Like I said, this is your journey. I just am a part of it. So I want to be able to help in any way that I can.
Thank you, Melissa. Thanks for
Yes.
your time. It was
Yep.
super fun to be with you today.
Yeah.
I learned a lot and I work there, so I can't
Well,
imagine how
great.
other people feel. Yeah, probably learned
Well, thanks
tons.
for having me, Steph.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks.